qualities.
The generation that saves the planet from climate change.
And this is how it will get done.
The global goals.
A 15-year plan
For everyone, everywhere.
with no one left behind.
We will live in a world
Where nobody
anywhere
lives in extreme poverty,
Where no one
Goes hungry.
where no one wakes in the morning.
asking if there will be food today.
We will live in a world where no child has to die.
Diseases we know how to cure.
and where proper health care
is a lifelong right for us all.
We will live in a world
Where everyone goes to school
and education gives us the knowledge
and skills.
for a fulfilling life.
We will live in a world where all girls and all women have equal opportunities to thrive
And be powerful.
and safe.
We cannot succeed if half the world is held back.
We will live in a world
Where all people can get clean water
and proper toilets
at home,
At school.
and at work.
We will live in a world where there is sustainable energy for everyone.
Heat, light,
and power for the whole planet.
Without destroying the planet.
We will live in a world where economies prosper.
and new wealth.
Lead to decent jobs.
for everyone.
And we will live in a world
Where our industry
Our infrastructure and our
best innovations
Are not just used to make money, but to make all our lives better.
We will live in a world
Where prejudices and extremes of inequality
are defeated.
Inside our countries,
And between different countries.
Where people live in cities and communities
that are safe, progressive,
and support everyone who lives there.
where we replace
What we consume.
Planet where we put back what we take out of the earth.
We live in a world that is decisively rolling back from
climate change.
where we restore and protect the life in our oceans and seas. Where we restore
and protect
Life on land,
the forests,
animals,
the earth itself.
with peace between and inside countries.
Where all governments are open.
and answer to us for what they do at home and abroad.
And the justice rules.
with everyone equal before the law.
where all countries and we their people,
Work together.
partnerships of all kinds,
To make these goals a reality.
These are the United Nations global goals.
for sustainable development.
Let's get to work.
We can be.
We must be.
The first generation
To end extreme poverty.
The generation
Most determined.
To fight injustice
and inequalities.
The generation that saves the planet from climate change.
And this is how it will get done.
The global
Plan
For everyone, everywhere.
with no one left behind.
we will live in a world
where nobody
anywhere
lives in extreme poverty,
Where no one
Goes hungry.
where no one wakes in the morning.
asking if there will be food today.
We will live in a world where no child has to die.
Diseases we know how to cure.
and where proper health care
Is a lifelong right for us all.
We will live in a world
Where everyone goes to school
and education gives us the knowledge
and skills.
for a fulfilling life.
We will live in a world where all girls and all women have equal opportunities to thrive.
And be powerful.
and safe.
We cannot succeed if half the world is held back.
We will live in a world
Where all people can get clean water
And proper toilets
at home,
At school.
and at work.
We will live in a world where there is sustainable energy for everyone.
Heat, light,
and power for the whole planet.
Without destroying the planet.
We will live in a world where economies prosper.
And new wealth.
Lead to decent jobs.
for everyone.
And we will live in a world
Where our industry
Our infrastructure and our
best innovations
Are not just used to make money, but to make all our lives better.
we will live in a world
Where prejudices and extremes of inequality
are defeated.
Inside our countries,
And between different countries.
Where people live in cities and communities
that are safe, progressive,
and support everyone who lives there.
where we replace
What we consume.
Planet where we put back what we take out of the earth.
We live in a world that is decisively rolling back.
Climate change.
where we restore and protect the life in our oceans and seas.
We'll restore
and protect life on land,
The forests,
animals, the earth itself.
With peace between and inside countries.
Where all governments are open.
And answer to us for what they do at home and abroad.
And the justice rules.
with everyone equal before the law.
where all countries and we their people
Work together.
Partnership.
These are the United
development.
Let's get to work.
We can be.
we must be the first generation
To end extreme poverty.
The generation
Most determined.
To fight injustice
and inequalities.
The generation that saves the planet from climate change.
And this is how it will get done.
the global goals
A 15-year plan
for everyone, everywhere.
With no one left behind.
We will live in a world
Where nobody
Anywhere lives in extreme poverty.
Where no one
goes hungry.
where no one wakes in the morning.
Asking if there will be food today.
We will live in a world where no child has to die.
Diseases we know how to cure.
and where proper health care
Is a lifelong right for us all.
We will live in a world where
Everyone goes to school.
and education gives us the knowledge
And skills.
For a fulfilling life.
We will live in a world where all girls and all women have equal opportunities to thrive.
and be powerful.
and safe.
We cannot succeed if half the world is head down.
We will live in a world
Where all people can get clean water.
and proper toilets at home.
at school and at work.
We will live in a world where there is sustainable energy for everyone.
Heat, light, and power for the whole planet.
Without destroying the planet.
We'll live in a world where economies prosper. And new wealth.
Lead to decent jobs.
For everyone.
And we will live in a world where our industry
Our infrastructure and our
Best innovations.
Are not just used to make money, but to make all our lives better.
who will live in a world
Where prejudices and extremes of inequality
Are defeated.
Inside our countries.
And between different countries.
Where people live in cities and communities
That are safe, progressive,
And support everyone who lives there.
where we replace
What we consume.
Planet where we put back.
What we take out of the earth.
We live in a world that is decisively rolling back.
climate change.
where we restore and protect the life in our oceans and seas.
We'll restore
and protect life on land,
The forests,
animals, the earth itself.
With peace between and inside countries.
Where all governments are open.
And answer to us for what they do at home and abroad.
And the justice rules.
With everyone equal before the law.
where all countries and we their people
Work together.
Partnerships of all kinds.
To make these goals a reality.
These are the United Nations global goals.
for sustainable development.
Let's get to work.
It happens to everyone. Waiting in line for your morning coffee, you scroll social media and news on your phone. What you find depresses you. Thousands of migrants are fleeing a civil war, risking their lives only to be turned back at borders. Speculations have sent the housing markets into a frenzy, and employment numbers are tumbling down. Journalists have uncovered a decades-long cover-up of child abuse by coaches and doctors within competitive gymnastics in your country. Closing the news app, you open your family group chat. Maybe one of your siblings has posted something funny, and at this rate, you could use some cheering up. The group chat has blown up overnight, and what you see makes your heart sink. Bushfires are raging again, and there's one burning only 2 suburbs over from where your cousins live. Everyone is frantic with worry. At this point, you walk away, coffee in hand, tense, miserable, and confused. You think, this can't go on. Something needs to be done. Someone needs to step up. We need a plan to fix all this social injustice, economic chaos, and environmental destruction. This is where the Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs, come in. Fixing the kinds of problems that bring your entire day down in the morning coffee line can't happen in just one way. The SDGs cover sustainability from different angles: socially, economically, and environmentally. They set global goals for the 3 Ps: people, planet, and prosperity. The SDGs form the heart of the 2030 Agenda, an action plan adopted by all 193 countries of the United Nations. They call for decent jobs, quality education, good health, gender and income equality, clean energy and water, biodiversity, and climate action. They aim to reach sustainable development by 2030. Governments play a key role in achieving these goals, but they're not the only players. Businesses, civil society, Indigenous leaders, academia, and the general public all contribute as well. You might wonder where they came from. The SDGs were born in 2012 at the Rio Plus 20, a UN conference on sustainable development in Rio de Janeiro, which was the largest conference ever held by the UN. Until 2012, there were different international agreements that dealt with environmental challenges such as climate change and biodiversity loss. And there were the Millennium Development Goals, MDGs, that aimed to achieve certain social targets in developing countries by the year 2015. The countries meeting at Rio Plus 20 decided that a more comprehensive set of universal goals was needed to tackle the urgent social, economic, and environmental challenges facing the world. This kicked off the broadest consultation ever run by the UN. An unprecedented effort was made to get input from as many people as possible, particularly those who don't often get a say in international agreements. Over 10 million people around the world participated in the consultations and helped shape the SDGs. Apart from national governments, major stakeholder groups that were consulted included women, children and youth, Indigenous peoples, NGOs, local authorities, workers and trade unions, business and industry, scientific and technological community, and farmers. I am pleased to share some good news for people and planet, UN Secretary-General Ban Ki-moon said to a packed room of press delegates. The good news? After 3 years of negotiations and debate, 193 countries had agreed to a set of development goals more bold and ambitious than anything that has come before them: the SDGs. The due date for the SDGs is the year 2030, which makes the 2020s the decade to deliver. But how can we know if progress on any of these monumental issues has been made? The 17 SDGs are built on an evidence-based framework of 169 quantitative targets and 232 indicators that accompany them. This ensures that the SDGs are clear, concise, time-bound, and measurable, which helps governments and decision-makers to include the SDGs in their planning. This means that we can keep track on each of the SDGs' progress. To achieve the SDGs, all countries are expected to set up policies and investment plans, and to use the targets and indicators to track their progress. They then report their progress to the UN. This is done through voluntary national reviews, VNRs, with a selection of countries reporting each year. Most countries, including Australia, have already submitted their first VNR. Governments are crucial in achieving the SDGs because they...
Hi everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, depending on where you're joining from. Congratulations once again for being a part of this journey. It's actually a very phenomenal opportunity for you to be here amongst thousands of applications. You were selected, and I'm sure we're all excited to be part of this. I mean, I was once an SDG advocate the last 2 years, and then I'm here welcoming new advocates. I can't thank SDSN enough for the opportunity that I've gotten, even during the program and after the program. And I'm so grateful that I'm also here to moderate this section. My name is Elizabeth Oshinaike. I'm also known as the SDG nurse, Director of Project and Strategy with the Sustainable Developmental Network. And it's actually very nice to be here. I want you guys to tell yourself congratulations, like literally say congratulations to me. You know, it's actually very important for you to be excited that you're here. Apart from the fact that we know that everyone wants to be SDG advocate, for you to course and get a certification truly an SDG advocate should not be taken for granted. And then throughout the course of this program, can you all hear me? I want to be sure that you can hear me. You can't see me. Mr. Manuel, please, Adebayo, please, could you confirm that if they can see and hear me on YouTube? Rachel, how about now? Can they hear me? Hello? Okay, what is it from my end?
Just in a minute, I believe.
Hello, Liz. Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, you have to come again. Maybe we are not streaming yet on YouTube. So maybe when we start streaming, you will come over.
Okay, that's not a problem.
Please, you can proceed. We can hear you.
Okay, hi everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, depending on where you're joining from. My name is Elizabeth Oshinaike. I'm Director of Project and Strategy from the United Nations. So to be amongst change makers. I want everyone to, type congratulations to me, congratulations to everyone. Amongst thousands of applications that we got, you were part of people who were selected. I mean, it is really phenomenal. You should be so proud of yourself. Congratulations to you. I mean, I was once an advocate. I'm still an advocate anyways. I also carried out the SDG Advocacy Programme 2 years ago, and then here I am. I'm so excited to be in your midst this wonderful day. And then I just want you to count yourself very fortunate to be here. I mean, most of the people are actually, getting to talk about SDGs, but it's just really few people that are really certified. It's really going to be very phenomenal if you are certified at the end of this program as an SDG advocate. Congratulations to you once again. All right, right about now, without further ado, I'll be bringing up the network coordinator for Nigeria. His name is Mr. Emmanuel Olowoyo, and then he's going to give us a very short description of what the program is all about. You're still, of course, going to get to know more about the program, and then it's going to ensure that you are very well informed about what the program is all about. So thank you so much, Mr. Emmanuel, for being here. You're a mentor to many of us, and we're so excited to have you join us. Thank you, sir. Over to you, Mr. Emmanuel. Hello, Mr. Emmanuel. Over to you, sir.
Okay, good morning. Thank you very much, Elizabeth, and so good to be here this morning. And once again, on behalf of the leadership of United Nations Sustainable Development Solutions Network, we want to say congratulations to each and every advocate that have been selected. Let me say it by figures, over 2,500 advocates that are being selected. I know that the selection process was a very kind one this time around, and thanks to the project team in charge as well. This morning, I'm going to be sharing more information about the SDG Advocate Program and what the program timeline is and what the program structure is. Spending the time, we're also going to be having a special guest that are going to be sharing their admiration and their own motivation in line to achieving the SDGs. Yes, it's very important as youth, as young advocates for us to engage in our respective communities. Yeah, we are just, the attainment of the SDGs 2030 is just very close away from here. And where are we in Nigeria? Where are we in our respective states in achieving and attaining 2030 agenda? It's very, very important. Yeah, the government has a role to play. Each and every stakeholder has a role to play. The private sector has a role to play. You on this call has a role to play. And once again, I really want you to congratulate yourself to being part of this program. Like I always say that this program is a life transforming session which each and every one of you are going to benefit from, and it's going to be of great impact. I don't want to dwell too much. I'm not to speak and to share some information about the SDG Advocate Program. And I'm just going to share my screen with each and every one. And I believe what I'm sharing with you has also been shared with you via email. That's the program guide. What's the SDG Advocate Program all about? What are the things which each and every one of you what are the things which you should expect? And what are the things which you should work on in line to the SDG Advocate Program? I know that many people come on this program and at the end of it all, they found it so impactful, whereby they get to start their own initiative or they get to scale up their own initiative across their respective states and communities. And looking at the SDG Advocate Program, the goal of the program basically is to be the community of exceptional young leaders, and most especially Nigerians, because this program is strictly focused to Nigerian both within and also in diaspora. Basically to champion and promote the SDGs across the nation. And we've been doing this since 2022. Currently, we have over 6,000 Nigerian youth that we've trained, and we've been able to reach over 1,000 secondary and primary schools in Nigeria across the 30 states plus FCT. So there is no state you are joining from whereby you are not going to see people, you are not going to see champions like you, which you can get to network with, which you can get to you can get to collaborate with. What's very, very important for us to know what the objectives are and how it relates to each and every one of you, how it's going to be of impact to each and every one of you. The very first objective is to enhance your knowledge, equip you with the knowledge of the SDGs across various modules, whereby you get to learn about issues of climate, which is one of the top global issues that we're encountering, and also talking about the aspect of energy, looking at the issues of energy, talking about renewable energy, talking about biodiversity, talking about modules like that has to do with governance, leadership, talking about modules that has to do with how to apply for grants, how to write winning proposals. These are things which you are going to get to learn. And most importantly, like I said, the government has a role to play in accelerating the achievement of SDGs in Nigeria. However, we are also not going to wait till the government to do some things. We are also going to do some things on our own, which leads to the second objective of the program, which is to incorporate sustainable development into schools nationwide by training young students. Like I earlier said, from Cohort 1 to 4, we've been able to reach over 1,000 schools in Nigeria, and these are the great work of each and every advocate. It's a way of we giving back to the society and getting to train the students, most especially at the K-12 level. What I mean, that's primary and secondary school. I'm talking about the third objective, which is to domesticate the SDGs across our respective states. And this has been so impactful, just like I said. The program has gone across the 36 states in Nigeria, plus FCT. So I want to congratulate each and every one of you. And I also want to admonish you that see this opportunity as a great opportunity for you to get to network, get to advance your knowledge. You know, I always say this, that don't do life alone. if there's anything you've been doing alone now, remember that you have a large community. You have people of like mind that you can get to collaborate with, people of like mind you can get to engage. And, you know, it just like SDG 17 is partnership for the goals. And talking further about the program, that will lead me, I believe you all have this program guide. And talking further about SDSN, I don't think I need to say anything about SDSN for now. I'm still hoping that definitely Professor Labo is also going to say something about that. For SDSN, SDSN is a United Nations organization, is a global organization of the United Nations that is designated to mobilize technical expertise to pioneer solutions in achieving these SDGs. So it's very, very important for each and every one of us to be part of this process. And yeah, you get to know more about SDSN as time goes on. Definitely, we have a network across different institutions in Nigeria, and we also have the SDG Alliance across different states in Nigeria. So whichever state you are joining from, maybe the big Benue State, Abuja, Nasarawa, Kaduna, we have alliance groups across the states that you can get to be part of. So it's very, very important for each and every one of us to be part of this great initiative. But talking more about this program structure, what are the things that has been expected? And I'm also going to take questions. So you are going to be using the comment section on YouTube, which the program managers are going to monitor and get to pick those questions. Rachel, Janet, Uche, please, you can just copy the questions and drop on Zoom here. So I really appreciate that. Talking about the program structure, one of the major things which this program has to focus on, just in a minute, I think I have to reshare my slide. Program structure, we have 3 phases of this program, which each and every one of you are going to be part of. And it's very, very important for you to ensure that you deliver. And I want to say this because many a times you always have people that get to complain that I couldn't complete this program because I didn't fulfill some phases of the program. So it's very, very important. And I want to say this clearly, because from here, the program managers are going to take it, they are going to take it up and they get to communicate with us over and over again. The very first part of this program is the masterclass session where we have advanced training, just like I earlier mentioned, we have very advanced training in various aspects of climate solutions, sustainable energy. We have various trainings on innovation and technology for sustainable development. And to this, I know that we have a lot of people that are more interested about aspects of circular economy, sustainable consumption and production. And we also have people that are very interested about green economy. These are many more thought areas which you are going to learn on. And believe me, these courses, these modules which you are enrolling on are something you are going to pay hundreds of thousands for if you want to enroll on with any organization outside there. So I personally, I can value this program at not less than 2 million, which you are seeing and you are receiving for free. So I want to admonish each and every one of you to take this program very serious, take the activities of this program very serious, which is very, very important. And moving forward, once you are done with the masterclass session, the next phase is the Own a School project, which each and every advocate is to own a school, which is going to be very close to your locale, which must not be more than 5-kilometer radius from your friend's location. And you have access to different schools, be it primary school or a secondary school, which you're also going to be given an introduction letter before you reach out to the school, and that's going to precede your approval process with the school management. However, it's very, very important once we get to the phase We are going to inform you better about that, and also talking more about the phases of the program. The first phase of the program is an individual virtual advocacy. I know that we have some returning students on this program, and they will say that individual virtual advocacy. So this cohort, we are not going to be having community-based development projects, and it's going to be strictly individual virtual advocacy, which you are going to conduct on your own virtually across your respective locations. So, and across any platform which you want to do it, be it Zoom, Google Meet, LinkedIn, Twitter Space. However, the purpose of this is to raise more awareness and get to drive actions towards achieving the SDGs and getting to educate the general public about the SDGs. And we believe that through this process, each and every advocate can get to educate at least a minimum number of 15 to 20 people. And if you can do more than that, if you can do more than that, that's fine through your individual virtual advocacy. So it's very paramount you get to actively engage on this program. So talking about the program timeline, I'm going to share this very well, and I will try as much as possible to be detailed as regards this phase. And before I get to the program timeline, I believe I'm seeing some questions. Which we quickly like to respond to on YouTube, and you can just get to, you can also drop your questions. Okay, and yeah, someone was asking that, sir, please, what next after successful 3 months of the training? Yeah, there are a lot of amazing things which you are going to get done after the program. And we also have another innovation program called SDG Innovation Program, which we are creating access for youth to have funding for their innovation. So in as much as you have a sustainable solution, you know, achieving SDGs in Nigeria, it's not just on the level of advocacy alone. There is more to do beyond advocacy. There is aspect of social impact, and there's aspect of community development. So whatever you are doing, and we have a lot of initiative, different partners that are coming on board to support what your ideas are, what your initiatives are going to be. However, based on what has been shared, you can get to ask questions. You can just drop your comments in the YouTube session, in the YouTube comment section, and ask your question. So talking about the program timeline, our mode of communication for this program is basically via email. And for the next 4 weeks, you are going to be having your masterclass training. You are going to have your masterclass training, which is going to be, that will be 8th of March and 8th, 15th of March, and also 22nd and 29th of March. And in between the masterclass session, you're also going to have your assessments. You have your assessment, the first assessment, 20th of March, and you're going to have your final assessment, 29th of March. Please, I'm trying to be very detailed as regards this aspect. For masterclass session, there is always an attendance, because we don't expect you to jump on this program without any commitment. You need to be committed to your classes. You need to be committed to your learnings. Like I said, the modules which you are going to be learning on are advanced sessions, which you get to have technical know-how about various aspects of the SDGs, and you can also get to know more. And these are professional courses. These are just short professional courses, which you are going to pay a sum of money on if you are enrolling on outside. But beyond that, we take the aspect of attendance very, very serious. So you are going to have your attendance, which we get to share with you via, we always share a link with you on YouTube, and you get to find in your attendance. And also, in between the masterclass session, you are going to be having your first assessment and your last assessment. Your assessment and your attendance is going to be the major criteria for you to proceed to phase 2 of the program. And the successful advocates are going to be notified 1st of April. You are going to be notified 1st of April as regards this program. And going forward to the aspect of on a school project, each and everyone are going to be submitting the name of the schools which they want to work with. And this has to be a school within your location, not a school that is quite very far from you, but most importantly, getting to also share back and give back to the society and also educate this younger generation. It's very, very important to note all of this. And the date for On a School project is already there, which the commencement date is 8th of April to 10th of May. And I can see some comments on YouTube. Can you explain more on the aspect of On a School projects? Please, how do we get to connect with people in the same state as you? Okay, the On a School project, do we do it in group or individually? What's the medium of communication? Okay, for the program guides, it seems many of us don't read our email. So one of the reasons why our communication mode is email is also to get to train each and every one of you. We want to believe we are raising champions that are going to jump on their email when they wake up every day to go through. And I believe beyond the aspect of advocacy, beyond this program, it's also going to help you, because during the course of this program, there are opportunities that are going to be shared with you, applications, grant opportunity, scholarship opportunities that are going to be shared with you. And it's very, very important for you to always keep a tab to your email. So that's our mode of communication. I'm talking about the SDG Advocate Programme. The SDG Advocate Programme is something that you have 5 weeks to hold. And this is a one-time visit to the school for you to share the knowledge, for you to share the word SDGs. Yeah, you can't teach the whole SDGs, you can't teach but it's basically for you to introduce the SDGs to the students, both primary and secondary school. So you have the choice to either pick a primary school or you either pick a secondary school. And looking at it, we are also going to publicize the names of schools, which, like I earlier said, will reach over 1,000 schools in Nigeria. We are going to publicize the list of these schools. However, you can still visit this school and you can still be engaged with the students. So it's just a day visit with the students and getting to share information about the SDGs. And it's always an exciting moment, both for the students, the school management, and the advocates that are working on this. So these are things you can achieve at no cost. So I know that some people might be thinking, I'm not going to treat the students, I'm not going to treat this and that for the students. It's not your responsibility to do that. You are not expected to do that. All you just need to do is share knowledge, share your knowledge of SDGs with the students. And like I earlier said, those people that are asking for the program guide, it's important, please go back to your email and download the program guide. Talking about, I can see a question in line to the time for the training. The time for the training is going to be 9 a.m. in the morning to 11:30 a.m. for every Friday. And it's just going to be for 4 weeks. That's the next 4 Fridays in the month. Like I said, 8th, 15th, 22nd, and 29th. So we like each and every one of us to take note of these dates and try as much as possible to be part of this masterclass session, because attendance are taken very strictly. I can see a question from Gabriel. He's asking about, please, the only school, is it going to be primary or secondary school students? Okay, and I can also see another school from the untold story of our society. Am I able to choose between a private or public school? Yeah, depending on the school that's very close to your environment, you can either work with a primary or secondary school, and you can either work with a public or private school. So that's just the most important part. And moving forward to the aspect of virtual advocacy, each and every one are going to submit the title, the topic, or the SDG of focus, which they want to have for their virtual advocacy. And for one thing on this program, we respect deadlines. We respect submission deadlines. I want to admonish each and every one of you to try as much as possible to ensure that you keep to deadlines. So it's another area which we are training the Nigerian youth on. You don't need to wait till when they said the application is going to close or the submission is going to close noon, maybe 3 p.m., Friday, 1st of March. You don't need to wait till 12 p.m. before you get to submit wherever you're expected to submit. You can get to submit a day before, you can get to submit that morning. Anything can happen, and whereby you're unable to get to submit. And once you don't submit, that might disqualify you out of the program. And please, we want to ensure that nobody is being left behind. Nobody is being left behind. So it's important you get to participate actively in this session. I'm talking about the masterclass session. I'm sharing this again. It's already in the program guide that was shared with you. These are the various areas of modules which you are going to be learning on. And these are key areas that you must not miss out. And, they are life transforming areas. And talk about the benefits. This benefits it extends beyond money, because when we started this program, if we were to pay for this program, we can't afford it. We can't afford it. And I always say that when I got to learn about SDGs many years back, I spent over ₦1 million in cash. This is like over 3-4 years or thereabouts to learn about SDGs. And these are things which we are having opportunity to learn free of charge, and the organization has made subsidized freely for each and every one of us to get to enroll on. And know that you are also getting, you're having a global certification that many people are looking forward to have. And, a lot of people have testified as regards this, and it's been a great blessing to each and every one. How this has also helped them to advance and scale up their projects, and it's also a competitive advantage to their profile. So, talking about, I can see a lot of questions. I think I have to take my time to respond to questions. So maybe you can just drop your question on the comment section. For today, we are not going to be taking attendance according to the program lead and the program leads for this SDG Advocate Program. There's not going to be any attendance. And for today, we are also going to keep the program very short. It's going to be very, very brief. But I would just like we try as much as possible to drop our questions. Please drop your questions on the comment section. I'm going to try as much as possible to review each and every of the question and respond to it. And someone asked a question about, can we get to rewatch this video over and over? Yes, this video is forever available on YouTube. You can get to watch this video on YouTube once again. And even if you miss the session, or you couldn't complete the session, it's important. And I want to say this: our mode of communication is email. If you have access to any of the program coordinator or any of the project managers, you don't have, please kindly respect their privacy for now. You are not meant to put a call through. We've been seeing some of you getting to call even at 9 p.m., 10 p.m., 5 p.m. These are odd hours that you should not even throw out any call. So please, it's expected for each and every one of you to keep to email, and the email managers for the programs are going to respond to you clearly in due course. So I would just like to respond to questions. You can get to drop your questions on the comment section while I respond to them. Okay, I can see all our questions. So I'm just trying to wait for each and everyone to share their questions while we wait. I know that some of the program managers will have one or two things to respond to. So for this program, during the course of this program, we are not going to be having any WhatsApp groups. So it's very, very important to keep to emails strictly. And towards the end of the program, we are going to share the WhatsApp group for the 36 states in Nigeria, which you can get to join. We are going to share that with each and every one of you. And okay, going to the next question from Copper Corner. In introducing the school, are we to pick a particular SDG program, for example, SDG 13 violence against children, or are we to introduce the SDGs as a whole? Yeah, you have to do an introduction of the SDGs. And for those of you that have major SDGs of interest that you want to get to relate with them,
when you're also doing your G's, sometimes we underrate it.
sorry, apologies about that. I believe there are a lot of questions which I'm quickly to respond to. And before I introduce Professor Labo de Popola to you all, and quickly talking about the on school projects, you have to do an introduction on SDGs, and if you have a major goal of interest which you like to share with the students, you can get to share that with them. And I want to take more questions. Are we going to get okay? I saw some pictures from some of the previous on the school project. I noticed some of the material. Okay, most of those placards were owned by the advocates. So these are things you can get to make use of, and you can get to make use of over and over again. So it's been expected for each and every one of us to try as much as possible to give this. That's why we always advise, we know how the economy is, and the very first rule is you ensure that wherever you are carrying out your SDG Advocate Program is just within your current location. It's just within your current location. So very, very important. Now, I would like to introduce over to Elizabeth. You can get to welcome Professor Labo. He is currently on the call now to give his speech. Thank you, Elizabeth. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Emmanuel. That was very, very enlightening. Thank you so much. All right, so right about now, we're going to be welcoming, I call him our Papa because literally he's the one that has been with us through the campaign, and then he has always been helping us to ensure that we have all our programs being done, and then he's going to be having his speech right now. So with a round of applause, let's clap our hands and then let's drop our clapping hands emoji. Let's welcome Professor Labo de Popola. All right, over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, and very good morning. I'm really very sorry that I have to join late. As a matter of fact, in the next 2-3 minutes, I have to exit. I've been in a meeting all day. I'm in a location that is about 2 hours ahead of you, and so you can understand. I actually requested Professor Diaka to stand in for me and make a remark. I don't know if that was done. But whether it was done or not, I want to appreciate the sacrifices all of you are making. Emmanuel, in particular, the youth coordinator for Nigeria, he's been doing a yeoman's job, and he has also succeeded in building a fantastic team of young people who are showing commitment to sustainable development. For all the others on the call, I want to also appreciate you for your commitment, for your sacrifices. This is the way to go. No country can evolve without the little commitment, the little contribution of every citizen. I keep on talking about this. Most of the time, we think there are some magicians somewhere, maybe in capital cities or in the federal capital territory, who will change our lives. Yes, they are there as policymakers, they are there as development engineers, but the real development can only happen if each and every one of us will contribute their own little bit, which will become big over time. So I want to implore you to take advantage of this opportunity. We've been having this for about 3 years, and I know that quite a number of people have been trained and their lives have changed. And when we're talking about change in our life, it's not about material changes alone. Intellectual changes, moral changes, ethical changes. Of course, all of this come together to determine who we will be as we move ahead in life. So I want to implore you, please work hard, be committed, show more interest in what is going on. And I'm very sure over time, you will see the difference it will make in your life, in our lives, and in the lives of the citizens of our country. Once again, I welcome you to this event once more, and I wish you all the very best. I thank Emmanuel and his team for the great job that they are doing for SDSN. Good morning. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sal. Thank you so much, Sal. That was very brief and very phenomenal. Thank you very much. We're so happy to always have you, and then you always coming on board anytime we call for you. Thank you so much, sir. So right about now, we're going to bring in up our keynote speaker. She's Mrs. Tolani Oshodi. She's the permanent secretary of the Office of the SDG Lagos State. She's a certified fellow from the Chartered Institute of Personal Development, among others. She's a trailblazer and in advocating for SDGs at the community level and grassroots participation towards the actualization of SDGs. So without further ado, we're going to be bringing up Mrs. Tolani Oshodi. Let's clap our hands as she joins us. Over to you, Mrs. Tolani Oshodi. We can't hear you, Ma. We don't know if you can unmute your mic so that we can all hear you. Mrs. Tolani Oshodi, we can hear you. All right. I think she's having a bit of network issues, and then we are trying to bring her on board. She's actually on the call at the moment. We're just trying to let her know that we are waiting for her to unmute her mic and then get speaking. All right, Mr. Emmanuel, do you want to say something?
Okay, thank you very much, Elizabeth. Thank you very much, Professor Labode-Popola. Thank you for your fatherly support and guidance. We sincerely appreciate all you do for us at SDGs Nigeria. And also, I would like to recognize the presence of Professor Mrs. Ngozi Odiaka, who is the co-director for SDGs Nigeria. While we wait for key guests in person of Mrs. Tolani Oshodi, the Permanent Secretary to the Ministry of SDGs, I would like to invite Professor Mrs. Odiaka as she also shares her address. Good morning, Ma. It's good to have you on the call. Hello, good morning, Professor Odiaka. Hope you can hear us.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Sorry, I'm battling with network off and on, so I don't know if you're hearing me.
Yes, we can.
Yeah, we can hear you, Ma. You can proceed.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Good morning, my director, Professor Labode-Popola. It's a wonderful thing to come on board again for this particular program. It's a thing we just must do. Thank you for your address, though I didn't hear well. I've not been hearing anyone very well, actually. So I'm just jumping in to say just a word. First, I think I just have to appreciate Emmanuel and his team. We are indeed very grateful for the good work that you are doing, and all members of the team also. And I want to congratulate those who are coming on board for this particular program that we have set to do. I wish you the best. The truth is that we're not leaving anyone behind. And I know that Emmanuel and his team are ready to do that for the youths. I wish you all the best and have a nice training. God bless you all. It's off again. Hello.
No, we can hear you. we could actually hear you. We heard everything you said. Thank you so much, Mom. Thank you very much, Mom. All right, so we don't know if we can have Mrs. Tolani Oshodi now, if she can speak, so that we can move to the next agenda. Thank you so much, Professor Mrs. Ngozi Odiaka. That was a really beautiful speech. Thank you so much. All right, there's a question here for Mr. Manuel. I don't know if you can respond to that while we're waiting for Tolani Oshodi to join us. Mr. Manuel, I don't know if you can see the question on the chat box.
All right, I'm going to respond to those questions now. Then let me also check. I know that there are some questions on YouTube for each and everyone that has shared their question. Regarding materials, like we said, most of those materials that you saw on the advocates' picture, the placards, those materials were sourced by themselves, and it's what they get to reuse over and over again. So these are things which you can get on your own, and these are things we can also connect with previous advocates that have done their own school projects, because one of the things which we preach talking about SDGs and sustainability is getting to reduce and reducing sustainable consumption and production patterns. So in as much as we have an advocate in your state that as such, you can get to reach out, maybe a banner, a placard, such of, can get to reach out to them and make use of it. And so I have one in my office, and I know that a lot of people get to use it over and over again. And so it's just something that you can pick up from there. And regarding the On a School project, it's an individual project. Both On a School projects and virtual advocacy projects, these are individual projects. But we want to ensure that whatever you are doing, you are not incurring any cost on it. When you are to carry out your own school projects, there is an introduction letter that is going to be shared with you, which you are going to submit with your school management, the school principals, and definitely we get to submit these letters to them, and that will precede the approval process. And even like I earlier mentioned, the programs team are going to share a list of schools. We've reached over 1,000 and we are still doing more. We are going to share a list of schools that we've reached, and definitely it might be schools in your area. You can still visit these schools because that's our sustainability strategy for the SDGs club that has been created in those schools. And I can see a question from, I think that's a question from Daniel, the individual project. From Adam, okay, so we have our office, we have our head office in Ibadan, that's in University of Ibadan Center for Sustainable Development. And we also have our member institutions across different states, across different universities in Nigeria. And mention any states, there is no state that we don't have our member institution. And also talking about the SDG Alliance, which we also have network across the 36 states. So these are things that are going to be shared with you towards the end of the program. But for now, your focus is to learn more about the SDGs. Your focus is to advance your expertise, getting to learn more about the SDGs. And like I said, when I learned about SDGs, I paid some 7 degrees to learn about SDGs. But you guys, everyone here, you are learning it for free, and you have to make use of this very opportunity and ensure that you make the best of it. And the question from Dorcas, please, before submitting the school name, I will meet in the school first. So the first thing is to identify a school that is very close to you, submit the name to the program manager, and there is a date. Maybe I should just share my screen again. There is a date which you have to submit the name of your schools, and that's let me just confirm. That's between 15th to 29th of March. You have to submit your school, the name of the schools you want to carry out your own school projects between this period, and they are going to check through to see if there are advocates that selected repeated schools. And if there are advocates like that, it's the first advocate that selects the particular school the school is going to be approved for. So if you selected another school or 2 other advocates selected that same school, they have to choose another school within their environment. And most importantly, you have to go with the introduction letter. You don't need to approach the school first that you want to come and carry out your own school. Go with your introduction letter. That introduces you to the school management, and they reading the letter, they know what you're about to do and your motive of coming to school to sensitize the students about SDGs. So I believe these are key questions that have been asked. Okay, do you still have questions? Okay, from
yes, Mr. Manuel, we have questions
about the virtual advocacy. What are the necessary points to structure? So talking about the virtual advocacy, I earlier mentioned about virtual advocacy, which is the phase 3 of this project. For other programs, Cohort 1 to 4, we've been having community-based development projects whereby each and every state gets to work collectively as a group. But for this cohort, we are not going to be having community-based development projects. So what we are going to be having is basically the virtual advocacy, which each and every advocate are going to sensitize their network, their community, and getting to drive action towards achieving the SDGs. Like I earlier mentioned, where are we? I think Nigerian ranking in achieving amongst all other countries was 146 out of 166 based on Sustainable Development Report published last year in 2023. What's very important, these little actions get to contribute to achieving the SDGs, and each and every one. We are not waiting for the government, and we also need the government to foster that, to accelerate that. But at our own individual level, at your own individual level, you can get to make some impact, which is where this advocacy is coming from. And after the program, there are innovation programs which you can subscribe to, and whereby you can get some amount of funds to scale up your projects in your respective community. I believe we need to end this call in the next, maybe in the next 10 minutes. It's just meant to be an hour call. But for all our masterclass session, it starts 9 a.m. in the morning and it ends 11:30 in the morning. So for those that are joining on YouTube, YouTube, I know some people might be complaining about data. So I don't want to shake table regarding that. And nobody should add stable data because YouTube consumes very less, and there is a way which you can also set up your YouTube account that you are going to spend very, very less data when you are watching your videos online. And also the videos are available for you to watch over and over and over again. So, okay, the virtual advocacy, Kazim asked that will the virtual advocacy be hosted by the SDG officials? No, you are the host of the virtual advocacy. You can be the speaker, you can invite someone to speak on the platform. So it's an individual webinar which you are going to do. And you can either do it on Google Meet, on Zoom, on LinkedIn, on Twitter Space, any of these accounts which you like to. All right, I would like to hand over to Elizabeth now as we get to round up this call. Yeah, Elizabeth, over to you if you are there.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Emmanuel. I'm actually here. Tolani Oshodi is having a very bad network. So we're just going to move on to hearing from Rachel and Uche. They're going to share their testimonials as previous SDG advocates. How was their experience like? And then just so that we can get to hear from people who had actually been a part of the program. Hopefully by the time they're done, we can bring up Tolani Oshodi if our network allows her to actually be able to speak. All right, so Rachel, can you kindly unmute your mic if you're somewhere you could speak, so you could just tell us about your experience, testimonial about the SDG Advocate Programme. Can just unmute your mic, or Uche can go first.
Hello, good morning, everyone. This is Uche.
Good morning.
Matthew Ajay from, I'm joining from Jos, Plateau State. I want to testify that this program has shaped my life. It has helped me to unlearn and relearn so many things, especially during the master classes. I learned a lot of things. So I want to urge you all to take this program very serious so that you can be a true advocate of SDG, so that every community where you are, by you, they can try to implement the SDG. Thank you. Good morning.
Thank you so much, Uche. That was phenomenal. Thank you so much. Victor Cornelius, can you unmute your mic to let us know what you want to say about SDG, the SDG Advocate Programme? Thank you. Yeah.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
I was part of Cohort 4. I had a lot of experience, especially during our community projects. We educated a lot of people. So it was so interesting and educative. I really enjoyed the program and I've benefited a lot from it. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you very much. Rachel, do you want to speak?
Yeah. Okay, good morning, everybody. Congratulations to everyone on this program for the Cohort 5. My own contribution is you have to make good use of this opportunity. It's a rare opportunity which I was part of the Cohort 2, and it's an opportunity I didn't take for granted during my training sections. And again, one of the benefits was connections. I got to connect with people who I can share experience, and they also share their experience with me. So don't take for granted any connection, anybody you meet in this program. Make good use of this opportunity. It can be of great help, even if you're not seeing the benefits now. I believe in the near future, you will actually see the benefit of this program. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Rachel. Thank you very much for your input. It's actually very awesome. Personally, SDG Advocate has really helped me. I think I was part of the first cohort. I'm not really too sure, but it was really phenomenal. I remember then when I was done with the SDG Advocate program, I landed an opportunity that made me win a grant, and also I was selected. I was the only Nigerian that was selected for that program. And then apart from that, it had actually, opened me up for various opportunities. And then the network, even after the all SDG Advocate Program, you get to have an alumni network whereby there is consistent sharing of opportunities. So you are not left behind. And then the way SDSN Nigeria has actually programmed it is that you can, even after your program, you can still get to be part of SDSN. You can still get to be a part of the program. You're not just neglected, right? It's a continuous thing. That's why it's very sustainable. And then it's just a wake-up call for everyone to ensure that when you start, you don't want to just start and at the at the middle, you're not going to continue, because most time people end up not getting certified because they don't finish, they don't carry out the tasks they were told to. So it's very important that you ensure that you do everything you're told to do. I mean, I was able to do it, and then I also even represented my states then. And then we were able to carry out various projects personally, individually, community-wise, virtually, and then here we are today. So it's very important for everyone to actually take this as a very as a stepping stone for those who don't have any idea about SDGs at all. Take this as a stepping stone for you to actually leap. You want to ensure that you're not left behind, and then you also carry out impact in your community and the world at large. Thank you so much. I don't know if Mr. Emmanuel wants to say anything before we wrap up the program, or Thomas, you want to say something before we wrap up the program?
Okay, thank you very, very much, Elizabeth. I sincerely appreciate each and everyone, and I'm also glad that each and everyone that has been managing this program and all that found themselves in one leadership or the other on SSN with Nigeria are product of SDG Advocate Program. And we have a lot of people that are outside the country and that have really benefited from the program. So to conclude, I want to start by appreciating the leadership of SDSN in person of Professor Labode Kupola and also Professor Ngozi Obiaka, who is the co-director for SDSN. We sincerely appreciate them because we couldn't have achieved this program without their support. And like I said, it's something that they give approval to make a free program. This will have been a paid program that you're paying in big amounts of money, but they provide resources, support in every possible way to ensure that this program is being sustained. We sincerely appreciate you, and also our network manager, Mr. Femi. And most importantly, like I said earlier, that it's very important for us to keep in open communication. We are going to be dealing strictly with email communication. So if you have any inquiry, please just send that email, and try as much as possible to be detailed with your email. We are going to respond to it. The program managers are going to respond to it, and they are available every day and time to respond to it. And the next call is going to be next week, Friday, 8:55 a.m. So please try as much as possible to be part of that session and don't miss it for anything. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Mr. Emmanuel. Thank you very, very much. All right. So I don't know if we can still okay. So we are going to be ending the section now. And we wish you guys a very good program ahead. I think it's about 12 weeks. Just ensure that you be the best, and then you actually don't slack off during the course of the program. And then at the end of the whole program, I want to see, okay, all right. Mr. Manuel wants to say something. All right, so Mr. Manuel, over to you before.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know that Madam Tolani Oshudi couldn't speak due to a network issue. Hopefully we'll be bringing her on board next week Friday. I hope that fits into their schedule. And I also want to appreciate Professor Labo de Kukuola. I know that the time we have some time difference regarding our time zone. Thank you, sir, and Professor Diaka. Thank you for joining the session, and we look forward to having you over and over again. Over to you, Mr.
All right, thank you so much, sir. Thank you, Mr. Emmanuel. Thank you everyone that spoke. Thank you for the thanks to the project manager, Rachel, and Uche, every other person that joined this call today, and then those working behind the scene. We really appreciate everyone. So please let's ensure that we join the masterclass starting from next week Friday, and then let's join on time. Let's send our attendance. Let's ensure when we have any question, ask your questions on time. Be patient for you to get your response. Don't always spam the email. And then let's just, we're change makers. Let's be the change that we seek. Thank you so much. I believe that at the end of this program, we have the number of people who actually registered being graduated at the end. We don't want few people. We want everyone who came on board to actually graduate at the end of the program and get certified and have their badge as an SDG Advocate. Thank you so much for joining us. See you again next time, same station. Bye.
We can be.
We must be
the first generation
to end extreme poverty.
The generation
most determined
to fight injustice
and inequalities.
The generation that saves the planet from climate change.
And this is how it will get done. The global goals.
a 15-year plan
For everyone. Everywhere.
With no one left behind.
We will live in a world
Where nobody
anywhere
lives in extreme poverty.
Where no one
goes hungry.
where no one wakes in the morning
Asking if there will be food today.
We will live in a world where no child has to die.
diseases we know how to cure. And where proper health care
is a lifelong right for us all.
We will live in a world where
everyone goes to school.
an education gives us the knowledge
And skills
for a fulfilling life.
We will live in a world where all girls and all women have equal opportunities to thrive
and be powerful
and safe.
we cannot succeed if half the world is headed back.
We will live in a world
Where all people can get clean water.
And proper toilets at home,
at school and at work.
We will live in a world where there's sustainable energy for everyone.
heat, light.
And power for the whole planet.
Without destroying the planet.
We will live in a world where economies prosper.
And new wealth
Lead to decent jobs
For everyone.
And we will live in a world
where our industry
Our infrastructure